In this lesson, we are going to implement order page. Let us start by creating API in the backend to return order information by order ID. Go to order router, in backend, routers folder, and right before order router post, create another function to get order ID. Here is the code of API at this address /API/orders/ID of order. When user send a request to backend, we handle this request in this function. First of all, we call isAuth middleware to make sure that user is authenticated by checking the authorization field of header and making sure that we have a bearer there and the token in the bearer is correct. Then we use async handler to handle async operations in the handler function, and here is the handler function for this request. It accepts request and response, and inside that we get order from the order model by calling find by ID function from Mongoose and passing the ID, I mean this value, in the URL to the find by ID function. We get the result from the database and put the order inside order variable, and if order exists, we use res.send or res.json, JSON is better, and return the order to the frontend, to the requester of the API. If there is an error, set the status code to 404 and send this JSON message back to the frontend. That's it about creating API for this address. Let's go to the frontend and use this. Inside order hooks, go to orderhooks.ts. In frontend src hooks, right before use create order mutation, define use get order details query. This hook get data from backend, so we postfix query at the end of the function name. The function is get order details. It accepts parameter ID, it's the order ID of type string, and inside that we return use query hook from React query imported. Inside React query we pass an object as parameter, and in this object we define two properties: query key and query function. Query key is an array. The first item in this array is orders, and second one is ID of orders. So we save query in the cache of React query by this ID. And for query function, use this arrow function. It's an async arrow function that accepts no parameter and send the result of API request to backend. The result is in the data variable of the response of Ajax. Inside this function, we use await to call get method of API client and set the return data type to order. And here is the URL of API request: API/orders/ID of order. We already implemented this API in backend, so when we call use get order details query, this function return the order. Good, let's go and use it. We need to create a new page inside pages folder and set the name to order page.tsx. Let us start by creating order page component. Get user info from React context, import use context and store. get the order ID from the URL, use params to access the parameters in the URL and extract the ID and rename it to order ID. Next step is calling useGetOrderDetails hook. We created this hook in the orderhooks.ts and get the data, rename it to order. Also, I need to get is loading and error. For refetch, we need it for next lessons. Save it to format your code. And here it's time to shape the return JSX of order page component. I return a conditional rendering. If is loading is true, show loading box, import it. If there is an error, show error box, import message box, set variant to danger, import get error from utils, and import API error from types folder. If order is null or undefined, show a message box and show this message, order not found. Otherwise, shape a div to render order information. This page is very similar to place order screen because we are going to show the order information, but this time we get the order from backend. Let us start by showing helmet to set the title of page to order and the ID of order, and create heading 1. Set the heading 1 to order ID. Save it. Like what we did in place order, create a row, column, another column, set MD to 4, and close the row. Import row from React Bootstrap and call from React Bootstrap. Let's start by creating the card for shipping address. Here is the card for shipping address. Import card from React Bootstrap. What we did here is to create card, card body, and card title. The title is shipping, and card text contains the address. We do not need to use exclamation mark because we check order before going to this part. If is delivered is true, in a message box, show delivered at and show the order.delivered at field value. Otherwise, in another message box, show warning variant, in yellow color, not delivered. Next card is for payment method. Here is the payment card to show the payment status. If it's paid, show paid at the state, otherwise show not paid. And the last card here is for order items. Here is the card for order items. I'm using list group like what I did in place order screen, and use a link to the product page. Great. It's done about the first column. Let's go for second column. Like what we did in place order, create a card, card body, card title, set title to order summary, and create a list group, set variant to flush to get rid of border. And the first list item is a row, and in 2 columns, we show items price and the value of items price. After items price, we are going to show shipping price, tax price, and order price. That's it. Great, we are done with creating order page. Let's go to the main.tsx and use it inside the protected route /order /ID of order. As you see, I added a parameter to the path. So when we go to and set the responder to this path to order page, import it from pages folder. So when user go to /order /ID, whatever user enter for ID, we go to order page, And inside order page, the value of ID in the URL will be put inside the order ID, and we use it to send AJAX requests to backend. Let's test it. Go to homepage, add to cart, proceed to checkout, continue, payment, continue, and place order. Awesome. Here, the order is created and the address is /order/ID of order. We have ID here and information from backend web API. If I refresh the page, I can see all information. Great. For the next lesson, we implement PayPal payment using PayPal API and finish the life cycle of shopping cart. Until that lesson, bye-bye.